What if I told you right now, as you're watching this video, there's an electrical storm happening inside your chest? Not just any storm, but a perfectly orchestrated lightning show that's been running nonstop since before you were born. And if it stops over even 4 to 6 minutes, it's game over. Hey everyone, it's Neil Brian Galve, and welcome back to NurseBrain, where we make complex medical topics easy to understand. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and life critical systems in your body, the heart's electrical system. Now, most people think the heart is just a pump. Wrong. Your heart is actually a sophisticated electrical machine that generates its own power, conducts electricity better than most household wiring, and has a backup systems that would make NASA jealous. In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 things that will completely change how you think about the heart. First, how your heart generates electricity without being plugged into anything. Second, the secret pathway. This electricity takes the most nursing students get wrong on their exams. And third, what happens when this electrical system goes high wire? And trust me, you see this every single day in the ICU. But before we dive in, let me share something that blew my mind when I first learned it. I remember my first day in the cardiac ICU. I was staring at the EKG monitor, watching these little blips and waves, thinking it's just a squiggly lines. Then my preceptor asked me a simple question. Where does that electrical signal actually start in the heart? I knew about the SA node from textbooks, but I had no idea how these tiny clusters of cells, smaller than a grain of rice, could control this massive muscular organ. That's when I realized that understanding the heart's electrical system isn't just about passing your NCLEX or getting through nursing school. It's about truly understanding how life itself is sustained, beat by beat, second by second. So, let's start with something that's going to sound crazy. Your heart is essentially a biological pacemaker that's been running continuously for your entire life. Think about that. Your phone battery dies after a day. Your car needs to be started. But your heart, it's been beating since you were a 22-day-old embryo, and it's never taken a break. Here's how it works. The heart's electrical system is made up of specialized cardiac cells called pacemaker cells. These aren't your regular muscle cells. These are electrical generators. They have these amazing ability called atomicity, which means they can spontaneously generate electrical impulses without any external stimulation. But why does the heart needs its own electrical system? Simple. Coordination. Your heart has 4 chambers that need to work in perfect sequence. The atria need to contract first to fill the ventricles. Then the ventricles contract to pump blood out. Without these electrical coordination system, your heart would just be a bag of muscle twitching randomly, and you'd be dead in minutes. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. The primary pacemaker is the sinoatrial node, the SA node. This tiny cluster of cells located in the right atrium is your heart's natural pacemaker. It fires 60 to 100 times per minute under normal conditions. But here's what's incredible. The SA node doesn't just send out one signal. It creates a wave of electrical activity that spreads across both atria like ripples in a pond. This wave causes both atria to contract simultaneously, pushing blood down into the ventricles. And this is why, when you're assessing a patient's heart rhythm, you're not just looking at the squiggly lines on a monitor. You're literally watching electricity move through someone's heart in real time. Every P wave you see, that's atrial depolarization. Every QRS complex, that's ventricular depolarization. You're watching life happen at the cellular level. Now, here's where most people, including some nurses, get confused. The electrical signal doesn't just randomly bounce around the heart. There's a specific highway system, and if you don't understand this pathway, you'll never truly understand how arrhythmias develop. Let me walk you through this electrical journey. Step 1. The SA node fires. Located in the right atrium, this is ground zero. The electrical impulse starts here. Step 2. Atrial conduction. The impulse spread across both atria through specialized pathways. Think of it like lightning spreading across the sky. Step 3. The AV node, the gatekeeper. Here's the crucial part most people miss. The impulse reaches the atrioventricular node, and something amazing happens. It slows down. This isn't a malfunction, it's by design. This delay gives the atria time to empty completely into the ventricle. Step 4. The bundle of His. After the AV node, the impulse travels down this specialized pathway. Think of it as the main electrical highway. Step 5. Bundle branches. The bundle of His splits into right and left bundle branches, like a highway splitting into two lanes. Step 6. Purkinje fibers. These are like the local roads that deliver electricity to every corner of the ventricles, causing them to contract from the bottom up. This is why we can diagnose so many cardiac conditions just from an EKG or ECG. Bundle branch blocks, that's when one of these highways gets damaged. Heart blocks, that's when the AV node isn't conducting properly. Ventricular tachycardia, that's when the ventricles start generating their own chaotic electrical activity. Here's how I remember the pathway, and this is gold for your exams. Some ants always build heavy bundles properly. SA node, atria, AV node, bundle of His, bundle branches, Purkinje fibers. You're welcome. But here's what keeps ICU nurses up at night. This beautiful electrical system can go high wire in ways that will literally stop your heart. And I mean that literally. Let's talk about what happens when this system fails. Bradycardia. This is when the SA node fires too slowly, less than 60 beats per minute. Your patient might feel dizzy, weak, or even pass out because their brain isn't getting enough oxygenated blood. Tachycardia, the opposite problem. The heart is beating too fast, over 100 beats per minute. The heart doesn't have time to fill properly between beats, so cardiac output actually decreases. Atrial fibrillation. This is electrical chaos in the atria. Instead of organized waves of electricity, you get random chaotic firing. The atria just quiver instead of contracting effectively. Ventricular fibrillation. This is the big one. Complete electrical chaos in the ventricles. No organized contraction, no blood flow, no pulse. This is a code blue situation. I'll never forget this patient. Let's call him Mr. Johnson. He came in complaining for chest pain. His EKG showed what looked like a normal rhythm, but something felt off. Then, right in front of us, his rhythm changed to ventricular tachycardia, then ventricular fibrillation. We had to shock him back to life, literally using electricity to reset his electrical system. That's when it hit me. We were using external electricity to fix internal electricity. We were essentially rebooting his heart like you'd reboot a computer. So, how do we use this knowledge in real clinical practice? First, you need to understand what you're looking at on that cardiac monitor. Every wave, every interval, every segment tells a story about electrical conduction. P wave, atrial depolarization. Is the SA node working? PR interval, conducting time from atria to ventricles. Is the AV node functioning properly? QRS complex, ventricular depolarization. Are the ventricles conducting normally? T wave, ventricular repolarization. Is the heart recovering properly between beats? When the electrical system fails, we have several tools. Antiarrhythmics like amiodarone can help stabilize chaotic rhythms. Beta blockers can slow down an overreactive SA node. Cardioversion for organized but fast rhythms. Defibrillation for chaotic rhythms like VFib. When heart's natural pacemaker fails, we can install an artificial one. As nurses, we're the first line of defense. We're the ones watching those monitors, recognizing dangerous rhythms, and initiating life saving interventions. Understanding the electrical system isn't just academic, it's literally life and death. But here's something that will blow your mind about the future of cardiac care. Scientists are now developing biological pacemakers, using gene therapy to turn regular heart muscle cells into pacemaker cells. Imagine being able to repair a damaged electrical system at the cellular level. There's also research into using stem cells to regenerate damaged conduction pathways. We might soon be able to literally regrow parts of the heart's electrical system. Here's something crucial that connects to everything else you learn in nursing. The heart's electrical system is completely dependent on electrolyte balance: potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium. These aren't just lab values. They're the actual ions that create the electrical gradients that make your heart beat. Low potassium, you get dangerous arrhythmias. High potassium, your heart can stop. This is why we monitor electrolytes so closely in cardiac patients. So, here's what I want you to remember. The heart's electrical system is not just a topic you need to memorize for an exam. It's the fundamental process that keeps every single one of your patients alive. Every time you look at the cardiac monitor, you're witnessing one of the most sophisticated electrical systems in nature. Understanding the system will make you a better nurse, help you recognize life-threatening situations faster, and give you the confidence to act when seconds matter. The next time you see that little blip on the monitor, remember, you're not just looking at a wave. You're looking at electricity generated by cells smaller than the period at the end of this sentence, traveling through pathways thinner than a human hair, coordinating the contraction of a muscle that will beat 3 billion times in an average lifetime. That's not just medicine, that's a miracle happening 60 to 100 times every single minute. If this video helped you understand the heart's electrical system in a new way, smash that like button and let me know in the comments what clicked for you. And if you want to dive deeper into cardiac nursing, check out my video on EKG interpretation right here. Because now that you understand the electrical system, reading ECG is going to make so much more sense. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference in your patients' lives. I'll see you in the next video. Once again, this is NurseBrain, inspiring greatness one lesson at a time.